Razia's failure and causes for the failure. Razia throne name Jalaluddin Razia, usually referred in history as Razia Sultana, was the Sultana of Delhi in India from 1206 to 1240 AD. Like some other Muslim princes of the time, she was trained to lead armies and administrate her kingdom if necessary. Razia Sultana was the only woman ruler of both the Sultanate and the Mughal period, although other women ruled from behind the scenes. Razia refused to be addressed as Sultana because it meant wife or mistress of Sultan. She would answer only to the title Sultan. Razia had all qualities of a great monarch. A downfall of Razia Sultana. Razia Sultan was a successful ruler endowed with many qualities of head and heart. Under the contemporary circumstances, her nomination to the office of Sultana are quite just and appropriate, considering the time in the general outlook of Muslim people, chiefly of the military and religious classes. The selection of Razia was unique and most dating. The following reasons and circumstances contributed to Razia's downfall. Number 1. Opposition of Turkish nobles. The chief reason of the downfall of Razia was the opposition of the Turkish slaves of Iltutmish. He had organized this group in order to strengthen the kingdoms, but after Iltutmish's death, its members became kingmakers and they enthroned Ruknuddin in place of Razia, violating the will of their master as they were not prepared to bow down before a woman. When Razia ascended the throne, they wished her to dance to their tune, but she was not prepared to be a puppet in the hands of slave officers. She rather started to oppress them. The slave officers could not tolerate her behavior and began to hate conspiracy against her, which ultimately resulted in her downfall. Second one, her sex. The greatest weakness of Razia was her sex. Razia was a woman of progressive ideas. She cast off her female attire and gave up parda. It was not approved by the staunch Muslims. They began to condemn and criticize her for it, and she, being a woman, could not face their criticism. Third one, her favor to Jamaluddin Yaqut. Rumors were set afloat, casting on her character. One such rumor was about her romance with her Amir-i-Akur, Jamaluddin Yaqut, who was an Abyssinian slave. Ibn Battuta writes that her fondness for the slave Yaqut was criminal. Perhaps it was the result of her state policy by which she wanted to crush the monopoly of the Turkish nobles. But some of her critics remarked that she had actually fallen in love with Yaqut. Fourth one, family discord. The brother of Razia and other members of her family were not cooperative. First of all, Ruknuddin Firuz violating the will of his father, and the claim of her sister was enthroned by the powerful 40 slaves. Later, when Razia began to show signs of power, they plotted against her and made her another brother, Bahram Shah, sit on the throne. Thus, on both the occasions, his brothers proved her enemies. Thus, the family discord proved helpful in her downfall. Other reasons. Besides the above reasons, the arbitrary tendency of high officers, the weakness of the central government, and non-cooperation of the public, especially of religious class, also contribute to the downfall of Razia. Although it was blamed on her that she failed because of her sex, but it is also not true, as she never showed any sign of feminine weakness. Rather, she was a symbol of power, courage, and confidence. Razia was the first and last ruler of Iltutmish dynasty to dominate the politics of the Sultanate of Delhi by the sheer force of her ability and character. Historical accounts about Razia. Razia wasted no time in establishing her authority as the sovereign of Hindustan. She ordered coins minted in her name as pillar of women, queen of the times Sultana Razia, daughter of Shamsuddin Iltutmish. The Jumma Khutbah was read in her name. However, her authority was not legitimate until the Caliph in Baghdad accepted it. The Caliph recognized her as the Malika of Delhi, in part because he needed a Sunni bulwark to the east of the vast territories now controlled by the Mongols, who were closing in on Baghdad itself. Lastly, conclusion. Through all adversity, Razia Sultana made a significant impact on Indian history. She proved that women not only had the ability to rule, however, they possessed the ability to much more efficiently and effectively than men. She instilled confidence and courage in Indian women. Thank you to all.